I worked for cash, didn't pay taxes. So as much as you're dodging the IRS and living off the grid, you also get no tax return. Also, no Social Security benefits accrue when you work for cash. Sometimes you work 8 hours, 8.5 hours, 9 hours. Sometimes you get extra, sometimes you don't.
There was no benefits, no medical, no vacation. The best thing is there was no taxes. Overtime, that was a good question. Got paid under the table many times, hours, was working 45, 50, 55 hours. I rarely did my hours worked out with, the ones that came from the company.
They pay me cash and they give me the 1099. It's like if I work in my own business, but it's not because I work for, them.
And it was bad, it was no overtime. They don't have no benefit, 4 months, there was bad people sometimes,
I worked for a couple of different contractors, 10 to 12 hour days. We'd do overtime and not get paid for it. I was paying for medical out of pocket at the time. I had no retirement, not much savings.
Sometimes they used to make me go early and come out late with the same pay. Sometimes they even miss a week of payment. Sometimes I work Monday to Sunday with the same pay, no overtime, no time and a half, nothing.
I would get cash off the books, and at the end of the year, I'd have to do a 1099 form.
I was working on a New York State Thruway, and the contractor I worked for did not pay the correct prevailing wage or any benefits on our wages at all.
I worked on a prevailing wage project and I was paid my regular hourly rate the entire time. I never received my prevailing wage bump or any overtime pay for the overtime hours I worked.
Yeah, so I typically would work out of town 50 to 60 hours per week. Not receive any overtime if they're working 40 hours, and no per diem for being out of town. And typically paid by a check every week without taxes taken out. They considered me a subcontractor. They provided the tools and the materials for me to work with, yes. Told me when to show up, when I could take my breaks, and when I could leave. I felt like I was an employee the whole time.
So 13 of the workers, including myself, worked for 6 weeks for a contractor. See, we received 2 weeks at the first time we received cash, and then we received the check, and the check didn't have any funds, it bounced. So they owed us 4 weeks after all that, and we never got paid after 2 months.
They don't care about you, they really don't care, so.
I felt cheated. I felt taken advantage of. I was angry because I have a family to feed and take care of, and they rely on me.
I couldn't actually pay my rent. I have a child that I couldn't, support for a certain time because I had to, all my savings I had to put them in and, pay all the bills.
All right. We'd like to know why our case hasn't been heard.
There needs to be a more accessible way for workers to get the help they need, and the cheating contractors need to be held accountable.
Something's got to be done about these guys taking advantage of, hard-working people.